It is a brand new session of Poker Time. It's 5:10, and everybody's wearing masks, Grant. Very exciting.
Yep, it's the new Portland Meadows location. We're still setting up the set a little bit, but that's tough during this pandemic. Still, we have players taking precautions and playing poker because nothing stops the poker train, I guess. That's just the way the world goes.
Apparently, that is correct. Nothing stops the poker train. We're excited to bring this to you. We actually have new content. We didn't know if we were ever going to have any. You see Chris, who's one of our new players, right there, collects the first pot.
So there's something new about this session of Poker Time, Jonathan, isn't there? Besides the masks.
Well, we have two new players. We have Chris and we have Todd. There's the walls.
Yeah, that's not exciting. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about that. Nobody cares about that either. I'm talking about the bomb pots every orbit.
Yeah.
That the players are going to voluntarily play, and they are mostly going to be 4-card bomb pots. So it'll be Omaha High bomb pots. It seems like a lot of blood could be spilled.
Oh yeah, it's set up for people to be very, very sad by the end. Here's Todd, new player, limping with the Ace King, and new things are happening, Grant. That's Wonka. You may not be able to tell, but that's Wonka.
That's an unusual play. I believe Dan Ross is a new player as well.
He is. He's a fixture in the Pacific Northwest of, he's like a 5'10 reg, basically, I would say, in the Pacific Northwest. Certainly plays poker for a living.
So Wheel just did a click back, essentially, with King Queen out of the small blind. That was strange.
This is a complete shit show, this hand, but here we are, and Todd flops top.
Wheel's going to rep it, which, makes sense. It's a good board to rep.
Todd has an easy call. Oh, Todd does not call.
Todd's going to raise right away.
Well, Todd could get action from like Ace Queen.
I kind of like it.
Yeah. Ace Jack. If Wheel has two queens, he's probably not going to put another bet in very often anyway.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I think this is the probably the best way to play this hand to maximize value when Wheel has sometimes a weaker ace. And I don't think, like you said, I don't think Wheel's going to be putting in too much more action with any pocket pairs at this point anyway, if Todd were to call.
Yeah. Well, Todd played that hand unconventionally all the way through. I'll say that. The limp, the just cold call of the 3-bet as well. But he probably maximized value, actually, this time. I don't know that these decisions are going to maximize value over the long haul, but this time, I don't know if he can get any more money than he got.
See a couple other familiar faces here. Well, maybe not their whole faces. There's Jake Dahl, for those who've watched Poker Time for a long time.
Yep.
In the middle there.
Boy, these guys all need haircuts.
I do too, buddy. I do too.
Yeah, fair enough.
Todd's looking pretty clean cut.
He is, actually.
And that's Wonka, despite... I don't think masks need to go that high, but I guess he's above and beyond the call of duty.
It's a public service to all of us that he covers more of his face.
Yeah.
There's Digital Dan, Wheel, and LA. All regs.
I think Rachel will figure this shit out.
And I will say there was some question about how this was going to work practically with the masks and the poker and all that. This is a poker room. This is the new Portland Meadows, so they moved locations. They've been running now for 59 days as of this recording and running cash games and the like, and it had no outbreaks of any kind. So we're pretty pleased to hear that anyway, that they've done a good job. They've been pretty vigilant with the mask stuff and keeping masks over the nose and things like that, as far as I know, and seems to be working so far. So we're happy about that anyway. Poker's
Indeed.
back.
This is a private room in Portland Meadows, the new one. As you can see, there's not the tables behind like you're used to in the old Portland Meadows.
I mean, it looks like a war bunker, but sure.
Right. My point is, this is not the entire Portland Meadows room. This is a floor above the normal Portland Meadows, which is a beautiful room, in fact.
It is.
And this room will be beautified itself as well in the future.
We really hope. So Todd limped the ace-queen suited, by the way, and now is betting the ace-queen suited on a board that 4 ways that misses him completely. That's a surprise. Might get through. We don't know what Laminator has.
Right. It's just been like a year, and still LA doesn't know how to put his cards on the RFID. It's no big deal. It's not like it. It's not like frustrating or anything.
There's a little box. You guys may not be able to see it so easily. There's a little box where you put the cards in and just have to leave them there for about a second, and it always works. And it looks like we got our first bomb pot, Grant. These guys are doing a bomb pot every orbit, as you mentioned. We'll see if it's 4 cards or 2 cards. Omaha or Hold'em?
If it's Omaha, I'll tell you what, my analysis will be a lot less valuable.
Well, you know what? We're going to just muddle through. It
Jake
is
Dahl
going to
might
be
have
Omaha.
a big advantage in these bomb pots.
Yeah.
Jake Dahl might have a big advantage. He is more of a Omaha high-low player, but he's definitely an Omaha high player as well, who's like professional level Omaha high. I don't know if anybody else here is pro level at this game.
Yeah. Here we go. Laminator's cards are, of course, unknown, but it's really going to be hard to see what everyone has. Jake Dahl with 39% equity. He must have spades. Yeah, he's got the nut flush draw.
He's got enough flush draw and a gut shot.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. And there's the bet. Todd with 26%
Nobody
equity.
with
He's
a
got,
monster flop.
Todd's got top and bottom. It's not bad. It's tough when someone bets
Nobody
this
has
early.
a wrap or anything.
Someone bets this early. This board's pretty wet and pretty dynamic. You got all these people behind you. I actually like Todd's fold there, especially when we're 4 cards.
Me too. Something I do know about Omaha is that you kind of get to be aggressive with impunity with the nut flush draw on a board like this. That's a nice factor because there's no hand that has you completely destroyed. Now, top set with a blocking flush draw is pretty bad. But it's a rarity.
That's really the problem, I think, of anything. Yeah. And the 3
And once
comes
again,
in.
Laminator unable to find that box that's just right in front of him. It's just right there, man.
Somebody did have pocket 3s and folded. They would have made the set in the best hand. And now Jake Dahl is left with ace high here. We don't know.
Ace deuce 3 4 5 does not play in Omaha. You must use 2 cards from
That's
your
right.
hand.
Jake not trying, interestingly enough, just checks it back. I'm surprised he didn't take a shot at it there. Ace high is almost never going to be good. And Laminator looks like he maybe has an overpair. Kings, I'm going to say.
I'm going to guess he won.
Yeah,
we
he
just
did.
don't know with what. But
Pretty-
it makes sense that he can beat ace high.
Yeah, it does. Look like 2 picture cards that were probably kings, but it is a little bit of a shame that we don't know what he had, but I guess it makes it fun. It's a sweat with. We're sweating with the whole rest of the table against Laminator. Every hand, apparently, this entire time. It's pandemic living, y'all. This is how it's going to be.
I don't think that's related to the pandemic.
No. No, it's not. As you can see, there's our there's our clock. Everyone gets time cards for anyone who's new to all of this. So everyone gets 30 seconds to act, and they have to start using their time cards. They each get 4 for the entire session. Wonka has held up a saloon and is back
Wonka
now
looks-
to
I know.
Play his plus
I was just
one.
thinking that. I was just thinking he looks like he's going to lead a posse to rob a bank.
Digital Dan opens some. Dan Ross did not really open Jack 4, right? That can't be true. It seems like it might
don't know,
be
he might
true.
have.
Well, he outflops Digital Dan if that's the case.
No, it looks
It's
like he
no,
didn't.
no.
Looks like
This is just, there we go. Jake Dahl with ace 9. Digital Dan with ace queen. That makes so much more sense.
Dan taking no shots here, just going to be content with his equity with his good ace high, and it is good.
Yeah. And he's going to win no matter what he does here. Maybe, is it possible Dan Ross did a blind raise under the gun to 20? That's why it said Dan 3-bet.
No,
And then-
because he was +2.
Oh,
so
yeah, that's
it's
right.
not
Wonka.
possible.
Wonka had folded. All right, so we got all sorts of new things going on here. We have new interns, we're happy to say, as well. But that may mean more mistakes.
The interns are more real than ever.
It's true, actually. The problem is with the newest intern, we have to pay her, which I am not a fan of.
Yeah.
I just like to go on record. But we do have to pay her.
But in that game, it doesn't even matter what the nuts on the board is, because anybody can have quad anything that's on the damn board.
Dan Ross looks like one of the surgery boys on Scrubs.
Nut according to the board, and then
One of these surgery boys.
Yeah, one of Turk's friends who are all like bro-y and fratty and stuff like that.
this game sucks.
Yeah, Todd.
Yeah.
LA's like, this game
Hey, speaking of Todd,
What?
here's a different
What?
Todd
This Todd.
raising out of the big blind.
Todd got dealt aces.
So this Todd limps ace king and just calls a raise. Limps ace queen suited, but raises out of the big blind with 7-3 off. This is a different style here, Grant.
Sure.
It's Todd time, and it's bad news for Todd if he decides that his 7 is good sometimes. And let me tell you, I've played with Todd. He does not like to believe his opponents.
Well, there's a great opportunity for Digital Dan to raise right now, I think. Like, it's a really dynamic board.
I'd like a water, Rachel. Yeah, thank you.
The Long Island started session the other day.
Turns out he's so far ahead, but it's wet enough also that Dan could have draws here.
175.
And take you for the Long Island kind of guy.
There's the raise.
Way to get the night going.
That's fair. Yeah.
That's not a good
You only got 23 seconds left.
backup plan.
Let's see if Todd is a non-believer like I suspect.
50% chance to
Ah.
He lets it go.
I got to tell you, this was the kind of board where you could decide to be a non-believer. For most boards, you could, but like there's so many draws here, but
Next level full.
his hand was super
Gonna
weak.
vote up on the clear.
That was a really strange decision to raise the 7-3 and limp the ace king and ace queen. I'm just pretty perplexed
Well, he's
by
doing
that.
the opposite. He's doing a Costanza, the opposite.
Yeah, it's true. It's hard to put him on these hands. I'll give him that. Really hard to put him on these hands.
For a short period, I had a
I'm not sure who it's hurting more, but Wheel yet to play a hand. Digital Dan always getting involved, but limps. We're never going to know Laminator's hand.
Still, we're not going to know his cards. That's correct.
I think he's probably putting his cards in a dead box instead of the one he's supposed to be putting in. Is my best guess
yeah,
right
that's
now.
most likely. And he did raise to 75.
Yep.
that's a reasonable follow.
I don't think Dan can fold.
Like nobody needs multiple.
He does. I'm surprised.
He did though. Well, Laminator, despite playing a decent amount of hands, doesn't typically, at least historically on Poker Time, take too many aggressive actions without having quite a strong hand at the time of the action.
I hear all that. If you're going to limp a hand as strong as King Queen though, and just I know it's a big raise, but it's just one raise and you are deep. I don't know why you wouldn't be calling there. I know you're out of position too, but the King Queen's good. It's a good hand. It isn't like it's, Jack 10 off.
What's behind the door?
Well, I believe Dan would have called if it were King Queen suited. I have to believe that.
I have to believe he would call if it was Jack 10 off. Just getting you back. I'm playing the other side. I'm like Todd over here.
don't understand why.
It's opposite day, yo. That's all.
All caged up and just, she's got rabies or something like that.
People living in their prime.
Can you see what Chris's shirt says? The greatest game ever played was on Wednesday, something in Cleveland.
Cleveland?
Is this about the Cavaliers winning the title, maybe, against the Warriors that time?
Maybe. Although I was wondering, is that tattoo on his arm the Chicago flag? I grew up in Chicago, and it looks like at least part of the Chicago flag if it's just 4 red stars between 2 blue stripes. So maybe he's from Chicago, but also likes Cleveland. Who knows?
Yeah. Maybe he's a huge LeBron James fan, but loves Chicago. Just loves, great basketball players. It's an unknown.
Or just Midwest cities, just general Midwest city fan.
Sure. That makes sense a little bit, right? You root for it's a proximity thing.
You get playing cards for the Midwest cities. I have like a 1984 Des Moines. That thing is worth something.
Is it signed by the artist?
Oh, yeah.
That's
signed by
important.
the mayor of Des Moines.
Who also was the artist, not surprisingly. And Wheel.
His name was George Des Moines.
Oh, he's the original.
Yes, Wheel will race.
The original mayor of Des Moines, I guess. The founder of Des Moines, I'm guessing.
No, just an ancestor.
Oh, Laminator finally figured out where to put his cards. Look at that.
I think that's what the delay was about, was getting him in line.
Wheel's mask is so pointy, it's freaking me out.
I'm not in the hand, so I'll get
Like, what has he got
here's
in
the
there?
thing about Wheel's mask. It just happens to be useful for the pandemic, but he had plastic surgery to make his face pointier,
Yeah.
and it's still healing. And it's going to be that shape when he takes the mask off, too.
He's assured me it's going to look really good, but
Yeah.
you can't tell yet.
Danielson.
I asked him to give me a little preview, and he has this software where it can like take a photo of him and then like evolve it into what it's going to look like. And I thought he looked okay, but I was a little disappointed. But that may not be what he really looks like. You know, it's a simulation.
Also, if I win,
We've gone far afield on this one.
I mean, it looks like. What is the deal? I mean, it looks like these guys are blinking, messages to the U.S. Army to save them. Because I mean, it looks like everyone's a hostage here. Like with these curtains and the lighting, it's pretty funny. But as Grant said, they're still building out the new Portland Meadows.
We got you.
And then you just put me on the list.
We see Todd is now taking aggressive actions with Queen 8 off. He just doesn't like to raise with his big hands, I guess.
It's a very strange thing. In theory, you'd want to raise with, if you're going to raise with bad hands, you'd also want to raise with good hands in theory. But I guess, whatever works.
Well, there's like maybe Todd falls into a classic tell stereotype of strong is weak and weak is strong.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, someone like Wonka's going to pick up on that at some point and then, make every decision right against Todd for 3 hours straight. That's all. That's problematic.
Yeah, well, if Todd can adjust to that, good for him. And if he can't, it's going to be a tough night.
Yeah, that's right. Because also, there's Wonka and there's Dan Ross, both on his left, his immediate left, and both those guys are paying attention to all this stuff, for sure. And will adjust.
8 cards of 9 or higher.
Todd has yet to turn over his hand, so that makes it a little tougher for them. But
If there's 7.
I guess he showed the ace-king once, though, now that I think about it.
He did. And he did limp that hand.
Yeah, that was also...
That would be notable.
I wouldn't want to show Wonka and Dan Ross that information if I could. If I didn't have to,
what is it like? Figure it out.
But maybe he knows he's showing it to him. Maybe he can then
Cheers.
play off that. Anyway, Digital Dan has queens.
Yeah, thank you, Dan.
Gotta believe we're gonna see a...
Like to see something like 135, 140, something like that.
Yeah, he could go 150 too, I think. But sure, anything in there. Looks like he went at 110. That is on the smaller side.
Still might fold out both hands. Stack to pot ratio is not ideal for Jake here.
Does have position. They're relatively deep. I think Wheel has to call anyway. It's 80 with a lot of money back. He'd be forced to call no matter what. But Wheel is not going to call. Not going to set mine there. Huh. Okay.
Sure, it'll be on there.
Thought we were definitely seeing a call from him.
Directly to Forrest's Facebook page.
We've got like a 5-to-1 stack to pot ratio for Jake, and Dan flops very well.
Yeah. That king makes it, I think Dan just has to continue here with that king on board. But I don't see how Jake is ever going to do anything but fold. Does have 2 very bad back doors.
Yeah.
I mean, spades, I
Not
guess.
the
isn't
flop
bad.
for Jake.
Yeah.
True there.
Boy, hands like that are really the difference between monster sessions and not. Like when you flop middle set in a 3-bet pot, and if you c-bet, if you get action, if someone else has something, that's how you win all the money. And if they just fold right there, hard to win all the money.
Are there unique, interesting?
You need a little luck there. Have some good second best hands.
I'm sure there were.
I mean,
sure
like,
there
I've
are.
heard you could bet. You could make real bets on the scrimmages.
Information.
Man,
I mean, we're in an information age, and information's going to be more important than ever, right? Like, who the hell has?
Still haven't seen Chris play a hand.
I know.
Huh. That's true. Todd's making up for it. Let's see if he limps this one too. No, looks like he's going to go for a raise now.
The Clipper Laker
Maybe he just was feeling his way into the game a little bit.
Laker total opened at 224
Maybe.
yesterday and fell to 216. That doesn't.
Dan with a slightly loose call here with Jack 10 off. Maybe he's recognized something about Todd's strong weak thing.
Yeah. Thinks like, well, if he's going to limp ace king, probably doing okay. Turns out he's not, but nothing for nobody.
So much, just because everyone was going under? What's she doing?
I think.
Laminator doesn't want it.
I'm the worst.
Dan Ross cannot stand by and let a pot go unchallenged.
100. I mean, I believe 3 players.
Big bet. Almost pot size.
Yeah. He's trying to blow like pocket sixes off the hand. I don't know if it would work, but also setting up potential like big river bets sometimes.
4 cards, man. Yes, it is. No discount.
Bomb pot time.
All right.
Do it, then just loading up on the
Bomb me.
Let's do
I think
it.
it's maybe
I don't think bomb me is going to catch on.
I don't think
defenses
I
are
don't think
usually ahead of
that's
offense.
something you should request. That seems like a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's in any sport.
I'm kind of with you
that when they first came on.
not to say that anymore. All right, I'm going to come up with a new thing.
A lot of them didn't, but I mean, combo
Pop
of
me.
that, and I believe
No, that doesn't work
players
either.
were out that
Oh.
Bring on the bomb.
Yeah.
That's pretty good, right? Is that okay?
Couple.
It's great. Love it.
All right, well, now we get to see what everyone's cards are. Wheels got pocket aces along with other stuff. But where is the equity? Well, the equity's with Chris. He's got a set of threes.
And Laminator's going to bet with an unknown hand.
Fabulous. Todd also has an unknown hand. Just lots of unknown hands right now. Chris with his set of threes will call. It is a very
No,
dry
he'll
board.
raise.
Oh, did he?
He raised.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Lot to keep track of.
Won't go with an open ender,
But
but
just
that's not good enough in this game.
not with a bet and a call. Oh, sorry, a bet and a raise ahead of him. The action could be reopened.
I think Wheels should get rid of these aces without really thinking about it.
Yeah, I agree. He does. Digital Dan happy to get out. And now we're back to Laminator. Oh, and we see Laminator's got middle
Oh.
set. Wow. Set over set action
Does
here.
just call.
Well.
Ooh, quads.
Hello, Dolly. Chris checks it
Now,
back.
you would be happy to improve to a... Well, it's not a good full
Yeah.
house in Omaha. It
No.
would be good in Hold'em a lot of the time, but Laminator, especially in a bomb pot, has a ton of bigger full houses than threes full. It's actually a pretty bad card for Chris.
I agree. Like 9-4 is like a very reasonable holding for
Yeah.
a Laminator in a bomb pot, right? Chris has a 9 in his hand though. He does block it a little bit, but of course pocket 4s is in play, pocket 9s and 9-4, and he doesn't even like it. Look how he's unhappy with this spot, but does find the call and gets the very bad news.
Quads are going to be good.
At least he was always losing, you know. Kind of a lucky turn card for Chris in that he has a very easy check back on the turn, you know, like a king on the turn. He might lose a lot more money.
You both lie.
We have returned. The first real blood has been spilled by Laminator on Chris with the quad 4s in the Omaha bomb pot.
Jake Dahl with a very pretty hand. This is the biggest pair we've seen so far except for Digital Dance Queens.
Unless you count the aces of Wheel and Omaha, but I don't really.
Nah, come on. Let's have some standards.
Just the turn. Min value. You like.
Laminator's going to call with the king 6 suited in the small blind and has 39% equity. Could be worse. Jake has the best hand. He's got 2 back doors. He's got position, and now he's got the pot. I mean, Jake really needs to invest in some clippers, I got to tell you.
Why you got to be so judgmental? My
I'm just
hair's all over
saying.
the place right now, man.
Other discussion.
Yeah, you're not on TV, are you?
Seems like the unique situation of things, like
Jake is choosing to be on TV.
special opportunity.
Let's clean it up a little
Yeah,
bit, bro.
well,
One before that. The,
You invested in Clippers, and there might have been an issue with that at one point, Levy.
Yeah, that's not. Who cares?
It's easy to figure out.
Look at Jake's hair.
Well, you're judging the appearance, though.
Yeah, I'm just
And
judging his
your
hair.
appearance was your appearance was diminished significantly. Your hair appearance due to using Clippers.
I accidentally
As
forgot to put
I
the
know.
attachment on, and I shaved all the way down to the skin on one side, and then I had to do it on the other, and then I had to even them out, and it went just the way you'd expect like Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone would do it. That's how it went for me, and it just got worse and worse. And eventually, I just gave up and stopped and waited it out, and now it's growing back out, and everything's fine. But yeah, I'm saying I would like it if Jake did that too. That'd be funny.
I don't really understand why you care so much. Let the man be free.
It offends me.
Okay.
Look, if he's not
That's
going to do that,
reasonable.
then maybe you could invest in some conditioner. Okay.
You're going to have a tough time going through life, man, if that offends you.
And I had an ace deuce.
That hand, oh.
On that.
Everyone else, their hair looks like they've really thought about it. And then there's Jake.
Who cares?
Yeah.
I think it looks fine, by the way.
The right program for this.
That's classic Grant. Has to be everybody's friend. All right, top for Jake.
And now Stacy's got me thinking about what they might be.
20. It's the first thing.
Todd has bottom
Todd
pairing
can't call
calls.
fast enough.
It is really cheap, in fairness to Todd. It's $20.
Yeah, he just did it really fast. He did it really fast, and I wonder if that's a tell of saying, like, please don't bet anymore. Look how fast I called.
Well, if that's what it is.
And 2 cards got burned.
Oh, is Todd pulling out raising chips here?
Tens in it, so no one was ever folding it.
He looks
I
like
mean, he
he
does
is.
block bottom set in a lot of 2 pairs.
This is pretty interesting, and he does raise.
What's weird,
I don't see how Jake is going to continue
There's
here.
not a ton to protect against. I mean, you could be trying to fold out 4-5, but you're never going to fold out 4-5 with this size.
I guess Jake knows something about Todd because he calls. Obviously, Jake is not well. What a great river for Jake. Although, obviously a 4 gets there, but this is going to tie Jake to the pot.
Forrest left the building. Thank you, God.
Very interesting line by Todd.
Yeah, unexpected.
Jake's getting way too good
Yeah,
a price.
Jake's going to have to call, but not going to love calling, but it's going to love to see the result.
Yep. He now loves calling. He didn't love calling before.
Would have been a bit more interesting if it was a king on the river, not a king, like a queen on the river.
Yeah.
See if it would work.
I
for Todd.
agree. I don't know. Jake decided to call. Now, Jake had top and a gut shot when he called. But I think there's certain players you can just fold that hand against, who raise you on the turn. I've never played with Todd, so I suspect Jake has.
He's not the one to fold against, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I'm seeing that.
I obviously didn't put him on a 4, did he?
That's just what I wasn't
How can you
thinking
tell?
at all.
We're complimenting.
I know, I'm just joking.
Fold.
Just joking.
Fold. Fold.
It's okay, Jake. He's always a joke.
There's the 30.
It's not very nice.
Fold. Small bun. Fold.
All right, finally some Chris action in a pot where he was not forced to play.
Wonka-
And
Wonka hasn't played a pot either.
just wins.
This
That's
guy-
true.
It's a little strange. Now, they just haven't gotten anything, I guess, but still, it's a little bit odd. Wonka, I guess, probably the tightest player in poker time
more-
history.
Maybe. It's just more notable to me when Chris doesn't play a pot because it's his first time, so I have no evidence of how he plays. I know plenty about how Wonka plays.
Yeah.
I need to know more, man. What's this Cleveland-Chicago thing? What's going on?
Didn't expect that.
Maybe that the Red Stars are the logo for his new brand of vodka that he's debuting soon. I mean, it's
That's an
it's
interesting
possible,
premise and kind of out of nowhere.
but
maybe,
it could be.
Maybe the Red Stars are because he fell off his bike when he was 7. Like, I don't know.
Well,
Could
that
be
wouldn't make
anything.
any sense, though. Like, think about it. Why would you get Red Stars for that? But a logo for your gin company or vodka company, either one, really. Well, we're seeing the chip counts here, and Laminator, of course, has won the biggest pot. Todd's had that failed bluff against Jake.
There's nothing mysterious about Nick.
That's the line.
So, Jonathan, if we start any sort of distilled spirit business,
Yeah.
will you get a tattoo of the logo?
Absolutely. Do you know how much money those things end up selling for? George Clooney sold his
A bunch of impulse.
his spirit business for $1 billion, and then Ryan Reynolds just sold his gin company for $610 million. Yeah, I'll get a freaking logo on my freaking arm. Let's go.
Went into Brian's private room.
Okay.
You want to pay me 9 figures? I'm in. I will get a very small, tasteful logo where I can cover it up easily with my shirt. Dan Ross with Ace King. Dan Ross, never digital. always Ross.
Making shit awkward.
And did Wheel just call? I guess
I
we're
get
small
it.
blind
It's
to
a-
big blind.
I think so. Like,
It's a nice Dan-related joke. he
Yeah.
did.
I said that. But
Well, Wheel flops pretty well.
Not the flop you want to see with ace king of no hearts.
Yeah, Dan knows this is bad news. He decides not to fold, though. He's hanging in there. Somehow he knows exactly where he is. Well, he's going to know where he is
Well.
now, too, I think. I can't imagine he's going to call another bet here.
Seems unlikely.
Throw Wheels praying somehow Dan just made 2 pair. Like 8-7. But really hard to get action. Wheel's going to show him the 3 next time, Wheel. Don't show him the jack. Come on.
You calling wheel with 8-7 there if you're Dan?
the nut king high.
How much did he make it?
200.
Nah, probably not. It's hard to come up with any other hand Dan can really have there, reasonably. You know, that might even consider calling.
Yeah, because you didn't bet the flop, so you don't put him on a set.
Yeah, or an overpair, or even middle pair, honestly, on a board that wet. Even 8-7 probably bets the flop. Honestly, it's open-ended with the pair. Probably continues.
Yeah.
So I don't even know what that's the problem. It's really hard to come up with hands to get called by.
Here comes Todd. Todd train is active.
Hell yeah, it is. And Wonka has something. That could be anyone
It's
underneath
like
that
a 3
red
bet to
bandana.
105. No, you can see the wonkiness from here.
Everyone else gets out of the way. And it is over quickly. Classic Wonka. Don't play a hand for 45 minutes and re-raise and win 4 blinds. Go eat a sandwich.
That's exactly. I mean, I think that's going to be on his tombstone.
He's up like $25 on the session. He's loving it. He's like, if I can just keep this up, I did it. I don't have to do anything else. Just play poker
Yeah.
for the rest of my life. Wonka, of course,
I
is
mean,
playing
Wonka
poker.
basically does just play poker
Yeah.
for his whole life without stopping.
It's bomb pot time, Grant, and that means it's Omaha time.
And it's the final hand of the session. Or
Yeah.
not the session, the episode. There will be more of this session.
Much, much more coming on following Tuesdays.
Did you say I had the nut king high to the table? Or just
And here we go. Here come all the cards, except for
Digital Band with a
Laminator.
pretty nice Omaha hand.
Yeah, actually, really nice, but not a great flop for him. Although he's actually the second most equity. Jake Dahl with the most equity.
Todd also had a really nice starting hand, but it didn't work out on that board.
That is the nature of frickin' Omaha. Dan Ross had I guess it isn't a reasonable starting hand for this. Dan Ross, though, with top pair is 15%. Jake Dahl with the same top pair, but also he's got some other things working for him. I don't know why Jake has so much more. This is all just going very fast. And Wheel's the guy, though, of course, with 2 pair and the most equity.
That's kind of not.
We're still trying to figure out how to read this whole situation, guys.
let's G
Looks like Wheel's going to...
Looks like Wheel's just going to take it
Wow.
down.
Okay.
And that's going to be the end of the end of the episode. We'll see you guys next Tuesday
Yeah,
for a little more poker time action from the cave.
absolutely. The bunker.